As a homeowner, we certainly recognize the benefits of having shade trees in our yard, yet one of the challenges we all have as those trees grow is the fact that you can't really work underneath the tree. You might have trouble growing grass. I'm just going to step right over here, and I'm of average height, and you can see what happens. How would I mow this yard? How would you mow it on a mower? It's very difficult. What we're going to do today is to limb up this tree in such a way that you don't destroy any natural feature of the tree, yet you provide the clearance necessary for you walking behind your mower, for riding on the mower, for pedestrians walking down the sidewalk if this might happen to be a street tree. When you begin to limb up your tree, you look for branches that are duplicating, either growing horizontally next to one another or vertically on top of one another, or those branches that are emanating from within the canopy up high and swoop down and cause a problem like some of these branches here. And this is where I'm going to start. As we prune, one of the other features that happens is as you take weight off a branch, the branch itself the rest of the branch may raise up out of the way and not be a problem. So by taking out the lower branches first, the bottom branches first, you find out how much more of the branches you really do have to remove. This is the branch that's emanating from the trunk up here. This is a good solid branch right here, but this lower limb right here just should come clear off where it comes out of the major limb. And then again, you can see this opens up a great deal of space very, very quickly. We have other branches that have been on the tree for some time and have already been perhaps limbed up or pruned back in the past. There's a branch here that's about 1.25 inches in diameter. If you follow it out, you can see that in the past it's now dead back quite a ways, but this has been pruned off in the past for head clearance, for line clearance. By now, this whole branch is no longer protected with the tree, and we're going to remove the entire branch right back to the trunk with the pruning saw. One of the first things you do is take off the weight of that branch. You don't want to have to fight the weight of the branch as you cut through it. So I'm just going to indiscriminately here, about 18 inches or so from the trunk of the tree, cut that extra weight off. We don't have to worry about bark splitting at this point because it's so far away from the trunk of the tree. We'll finish that off. There you go. Okay, the final cut needs 3 cuts. You need to do an undercutting to keep any bark from splitting. Then you come in front of that so that as you cut and this branch falls down, this cut right there stops any bark from peeling down the trunk. So that's the weight of that branch off. Now I'm going to make the final cut. The other important part when you make the final cut is there's the shoulder area right here. Think of this as our tonsils. This is what helps the tree not allow decay into the trunk of the tree. So you want to cut on the outside of that shoulder. So you will actually be leaving a little bit of a bump. So that's the finished cut. We've taken off a larger limb. We haven't had anything split down, and that's the bit of wound that's left. The tree will heal over this very nicely. Well, we finished pruning, and as you can see, this is a dramatic difference by just taking off those limbs that have been hanging down, by taking off competing limbs that have been growing side by side or on top of one another, and properly pruning the larger branches to the trunk of the tree. This pruning will now hold this tree good for probably 2, maybe 3 years before it has to be redone.